Outdoor prepper, pardon the sunglasses. It is really bright out here today, but I thought this was a great opportunity to explain what just might be the perfect pair. And let me explain where I'm going with this. So you've probably seen my reviews on the Predator 11,500 watt inverter generator. This is a powerhouse of a generator, and I'm going to link 2 videos that I made on this in the description below, so check that out. But basically what I want to go over today is why a portable power station such as this Oscal PowerMax 1800 coupled with an inverter generator is really the best of both worlds to be prepared for a power outage. Now we know what the Predator can do. This can power your whole house. This is an absolute beast, and it's an inverter. It's got very clean power, so it could power sensitive electronics. But a generator like this is going to go through a lot of fuel, and maybe at night you don't want a generator running because at night people with ill intent can hear the generator, go in your backyard, wherever you have it, and steal it, right? It also just might be a nuisance in general. Now, an inverter is very quiet, and this is a great generator. I highly recommend it. But if you are operating in the dead of night, you want to lay low, you don't want people to hear it, you don't want people to steal it, and maybe you don't want it to interrupt your sleep, despite how quiet it is. For that reason, I picked up the Oscal PowerMax 1800. Now, this is a portable power station, very similar to the Blue Eddies, the Jackeries, a million different brands out there. I picked up the Oscal because the price was right. It's basically a 1,024 watt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. So this is not the battery that blows up. Those are lithium ion. Lithium iron is the safer battery. It's 1,024 watt-hour battery, an 1,800 watt inverter that can surge to 3,600 watts. Now you're probably saying, well, that's great, but what can this actually do? Like, how does it actually work? Well, my plan is to use the Oscal during the night to keep my fridge going, keep some phones charged, maybe keep the alarm system going, and that's it. I want to keep the basics, the essentials going during the night, so I don't have to worry about theft of my generator. And then during the day, I can fire up the generator, I can charge the Oscal back up. This charges from 0 to full in about an hour, maybe a smidge over an hour. And these batteries are good for about 3,000 cycles, or give or take 10 years, before it reduces to about 80% battery capacity. Now what we're going to do here very shortly is I'm going to fire up the Predator, and we're going to charge the Oscal back to 100%. That way we can run through a whole bunch of tests here. But I want to stress again that having an inverter generator with very clean power output is critical for powering or recharging a portable power station such as the Oscal PowerMax, because you really want a clean sine wave, clean power coming in. Let's just look at the front of this and the general operation, and I'm going to bring this inside the house where we're not in blinding sun, and we'll actually run through some tests. But if we're looking at the front, let me try to get my shadow out of the way. We've got 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, so you can charge your phones, your computers, tablets, whatever electronic devices you've got. We've got a standard cigarette lighter that you would find in a car, so you can charge whatever accessories plug into that, or you can even plug in an adapter to get some more USB A's or C's. We've got 3 standard 120 volt 20 amp, and you can tell it's a 20 amp by the little side mark here. Standard AC outlets. We've got a button for Wi-Fi, I'm sorry, Bluetooth. We've got our on-off button. We've actually got a light, which I'm not even going to attempt to turn that on out here because it is just so bright. But that's great, because if you're operating one of these power stations, you know, it's presumably you've got no power and you're going to want some light to see. So something like this is really going to help you out in terms of providing power and light. Let's come around the sides. These are just some air vents. Now on the back of the unit, this is where, and I hope you can see this on the camera, this is where you can plug in solar. So if you had a solar panel, you can charge this during the day. You can use the AC adapter cord, which is what we're going to do momentarily, and then we've got basically a reset circuit breaker type button. This just pulls right out where you can reset it. Now this right here is unique to this specific unit in that you can pair a second battery to it and you can get double the power out of this unit. And Oscal sells additional batteries. I did not need an additional one. I just wanted to pick up the base unit. Like I said, this is a decent price. I got it on Amazon. I think I paid with the coupon about 400 bucks. I will post the link to this below if you're interested. Coming back around to the front, there is one other feature, and then we'll dive into the box of what came with it. But there is one other feature that I really like, and not all power stations have this, and that is a wireless charging pad. So if you've got something plugged in here and here, but you still want to charge your phone, just place it right onto the wireless charging pad, and it's going to charge No issues, no cables, nothing. So if you don't have cables in an emergency, you don't need them. You could literally just put the phone right on top and charge it up. But this is our standard AC charging cable, which I like because this is basically your computer type cable that you would use to plug in. And almost all power stations take this. So if you have one of these cables anywhere, it will fit all the power stations, and that's great in case you're operating with a few different brands of power station. You don't need to worry about proprietary cables, so Oscal did a good job there. These are your solar cables, so if you buy a set of solar panels, you can lay them out in your driveway, on your lawn, wherever that might be. And this cable right here is going to plug into the back of the power station, and the solar panels are going to hook up to these two cables right here. So they include that. That's great. You don't need to make an additional purchase. Inside here, you've obviously got a QR code and the owner's manual, and then you have an additional cable so you can plug this into the back and charge it from a car cigarette lighter socket. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm opening up I'm unloosening the coil on the charging cable, and I'm going to plug this into the back of the Oscal, and I'm going to plug it into the Predator generator. We're going to fire that up, and we're going to charge this back up to 100. That way we basically have a fresh start. And then we're going to take this inside the house and we're going to do some testing. Okay, so this is more in view and it's closer to the outlet on the generator. So while I'm getting this all hooked up, I just want to give you some perspective on runtime. A unit like this with a 1024 watt-hour battery, regardless of brand, is going to power your standard full-size fridge for about 12 hours. That is a very long runtime. You will easily make it through the night with that fridge going. This will power LED equivalent light bulbs, like 60-watt light bulbs. You could power those 100 hours. It's going to be quite an extensive runtime because, again, an LED equivalent 60-watt bulb is going to take maybe 6 watts. It's not going to be a huge. Actually, let me plug that in once the generator's on. It's not going to be a huge power draw. You can power your television 10 hours, router 12 hours. You've got to add up the devices, but this can power a coffee maker. This can power microwave, as long as the microwave stays within 3,600 surge watts or 2,400 running watts. This can literally do a lot of stuff. So let's get the generator turned on. Let's get this plugged in. You're going to see just how fast this charges up. But let's see what happens. Even better. Even better. This is really quiet. Again, I'm going to link 2 videos of this generator in the description. Check this out. This is a beast. And now look, you can use a smaller inverter generator like the Harbor Freight 5000 to charge this easily, no problem at all. But if you start getting larger power stations, like Oscal makes a 3,600 watt, some of the other brands make even larger, or if you daisy chain them, you've got quite a lot of power in terms of these power stations, you're going to want a larger generator like this if you're charging them all up at the same time. For one small power station, this is more than sufficient. It's actually overkill. You could do a smaller inverter generator. All right, so this has kind of come up to speed. So let me just plug this in, and then we're going to pull the camera in a little bit closer, and I will show you that it's charging. So right now, this power station is pulling in 732 watts. We're at 57%, and it shows us recharge time 40 minutes. So in 39 minutes now, we're going to be at 100%. And that shows you just how quick these power stations charge up. They're very, very efficient. You don't need to run the generator for a long amount of time, and that allows you to conserve fuel on the generator for heavier usage during the day. Maybe you want to run the electric dryer or the dishwasher, or just some heavy loads, air conditioning. That's where you're going to want to use the generator. You're going to want to use the power station for lighter loads like the refrigerator, the television, the phone chargers, the TV, the computer. So this pair of devices, a portable power station and a generator, really is the ultimate blackout prepper, tools. The two of them work in tandem together. So let's come back when this is fully charged, and then we'll run through some tests. Guys, now that we're back inside, because it's a little less bright in here, I think you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to insert a video, just kind of an up-close look of the unit. It charged up really fast with the generator power, and this is where a unit like this, like the Oscal 1800, really shines, because you're not burning a lot of fuel on a generator if you're just charging this up. You're going to charge this up in about an hour, a little longer than that, and then you're going to shut the generator down, and this can run your fridge all night long. This can run lights. I don't know if you can see it right now, but this light right here is being powered by the Oscal. I'm charging my iPad, which is pretty much dead, from the Oscal. This is just a really solid unit that Of all the power stations I own, so far this is my favorite. And the charging pad works great. I was actually charging my phone on it right before I started the video. So I want to just do another couple of tests and just show you that this can really handle large loads. The fridge is no problem at all. I actually powered my fridge last night. I got about 12 hours on the fridge, but a refrigerator is not a heavy usage device. I mean, it's great for a blackout. You can power your fridge all night long, but I want to show you this powering a coffee maker and a toaster, because those are very load intensive devices. So let's go in the kitchen and take a look, and let's see how it does. Okay, so I brought this into the kitchen, and I'm going to leave the iPad plugged in because I still need to charge this. We are at 60% charge, so we got a ways to go here. So let's just leave that plugged in, and we're going to do the coffee maker. And the coffee maker takes a lot of power, so this is really going to put this unit to the test. So I'm just going to open this up and simulate that I put a K-pot in there, and we're going to boil this water, and let's see how it does. Let me just bring the camera in a little bit closer to the screen so hopefully you can see. Right now the water pump is just pumping in the water, but in just a second it's going to go to heat the water up, and that's really going to be where this unit gets put to the test. Now I estimate we're going to hear the cooling fans spin up a little bit, but let's see. All right. I didn't even know it was doing anything because I didn't hear the cooling fans. We are pulling 1,416 watts. That is super awesome. Most of my other power stations at this point, it would be hard to hear because the fans would be on like 7,000 RPM. So that is really, really good that we're pulling 1,400 watts. No hookup at all, no cooling fan noise, and my iPad is still charging. Any second, we should hopefully see this thing brewing. So let me just back the camera up a little bit. We are still pulling 1,414 watts, and I actually hear the Keurig doing its thing. So I think after this, I want to do a cycle on the toaster, because that again is another really heavy power usage type device. And look at this. Hot water is coming out. I can see the steam. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but let's zoom in a little bit. I think you can see the steam from the camera here, so we know that this is doing a solid job. And look, we just dropped back down to 19 watts, back to charging the iPad. It never stopped charging. I think that's an absolute win. We're still at 93% power. And the reason we're at 93% power, I was at 100 earlier, but I've been charging devices. Like I said, I charged my phone, I charged another iPad, I'm charging this iPad. We just made a cup of coffee, which is really just steaming, boiling hot water that I'm not gonna pour out in the sink. So, very successful test. Let's move over to the toaster. Okay, we are at the toaster now, and iPad is still charging. I'm just gonna pull this forward or drop. I actually think we will hear the cooling fans come on now, because this is going to really tax the unit a lot, and we're going to be up much closer to maybe 1,700 watts. So let's go ahead and start a toast cycle, and then we'll zoom in on the screen and see what's going on over there. Yeah, so we are much higher right now. We are at 1,700 and about 60 watts. And you know what? The fans haven't even come on. So I think this is an absolute win. This unit is not overheating. The unit is doing literally just fine. When you turn the AC plug on, and we'll simulate, or the AC inverter on, and we'll simulate that when this toast cycle is done. But when you do that, the fans self-test, so they spin up. You know that they're on. Oh, I hear they just came on. And you can see here the logo, which is spinning. But let me stop talking so you can maybe hear it with the microphone. Very, very quiet. Like I said, I've got other units that when you put a load on them, the fans come on instantly, and they're at full crazy RPM. We are literally right at our max wattage, although again, there's a surge wattage, so we can go over that. So if I plugged something else in and it took a surge, would not be a problem, but this is running steady. We've got 2 minutes left in the countdown. Let's come back in about 1 minute and see how we're doing. Okay, we've got 38 seconds left. The screen times out, you just have to hit a button. We're pulling a steady 1,700 watts. At this power draw, if we were to just continue indefinitely, we would get 25 more minutes which is a very long runtime because a typical toast cycle is about 3 minutes, so we can get many toast cycles. Like I said, the fans have spun up. I'm just going to put a tissue here next to the vents, and you can see it just ever so slightly blowing. I mean, we're not at full power at all in terms of the fans, so this is an absolute win. Our toast cycle is almost over, and we still have 82% power on the unit. Toast cycle is over. Let's take a look at the screen. We just dropped down to 19 watts. Now we've got 14 hours of runtime at this power draw. iPad is still charging. Fans have significantly slowed down. Let's take it back to the table. Because I disconnected the iPad because I don't want to drop it. But I just want to show you that this is not a tremendously heavy unit. I'm using one hand. I'm able to pick it up. This is not going to hurt you. This is not heavy. This is easily something that you could take camping with you. You could throw in the back of your car. It's not a big, massive unit. It's very easy to move around. Because I think you can see from that testing that this is not a big, heavy unit, but it is a very powerful, energy-dense unit. When a lot of folks do these reviews on power stations, they're showing you the device powering phones and laptops and drones, and that's great. This can do that all day long, and this is perfect for that if you want to, have a nice day out in the wilderness where you're charging devices and flying drones. But the real test is what we saw, that it can do a coffee maker and a toaster, because those are devices that take a lot of power really quick because they have heating elements. This handled it with absolutely no problem. So if it can do that, it can so easily do lights and refrigerators, computers. That is not even a challenge for something like the Oscal PowerMax 1800. There's one other thing I want to point out. This unit, the price varies on the time of year that you're buying it, but it's going to be going on sale for Black Friday. I'm going to post a link. I'm going to reach out and get some discount codes if I can, and if I get those, I'm going to post those as well in the description. So check that out, because this is a very reasonably priced power station. This is not like one of those $1,000 units. This is reasonably priced. When I picked this up, it was roughly around $400. Again, price varies, but check it out online. I'm going to post the link in the description. As I hope if you've learned anything from this video, what I really hope that it is that a unit like this, the portable power station, paired with an inverter type generator, is absolutely the perfect pair. Because again, and I said this at the beginning of the video, if there's a long-term power outage, you can't run that generator indefinitely unless you have a ton of fuel. So the generator coupled with the Oscal PowerMax 1800 is truly the perfect pair. You run the generator a little bit during the day, you use your heavy loads during the day, washing machines, dishwashers, air conditioners, and then at night, when you want to be quiet and stealth and you don't want anybody to steal that generator, you take the Oscal PowerMax, you power your fridge all night long, your home security system, you charge your phones, you get through the night quiet and safe, and then in the morning you charge this right back up and you can use your generator. It really is the perfect pair, and that's my game plan for power outages. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, ask any questions on this unit or the generator or anything, and I will answer all of them. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.